Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Mark Isaac Potter Presents. Today we're visiting with Amber Harsh, who is this your first show or second show, Amber?
This is my second time being on with you, Mark.
Okay, so Amber's going to be on the show, and like you all know, every show I say I have dementia, and I don't remember even my own name, let alone anything else. So at this exact moment, I have no idea what Amber does. I know she's been on before. I usually make jokes about what people do, but I won't. I'll forego that. Amber, tell us a little bit about either yourself or your business or whatever part you want to let us know, and then I'll ask questions
All
pursuant to
right.
your comments.
I am a mom of four kids. I am a Gigi to one granddaughter. I have been married for 10 years. I have a wonderful husband that I'm building a financial business with and helping individuals understand their financial foundation. And we
Okay.
are working on also filling the holes in our own financial foundation from the things that I've learned within my business. It has made a world of difference for us. We actually
Okay.
have a savings account now, which we did not before. We were in a whole heck of a lot of debt. I'm happy we are on our way out of that debt because of the things that
Okay.
I've learned. And
Okay.
we just enjoy being parents and being with our kids as much as we possibly can.
So you said Gigi, so you meant great grandmother?
No, I'm just a grandma.
I was going to say, how in God's name does someone who looks, I would just say 14, but I won't say that.
Well, you are super
I,
sweet. I am
I don't know.
actually,
If I go under 18, I don't know if it's still sweet or not, but anyway,
oh,
so I like the fact that you're doing financial stuff, fintech or whatever they call it nowadays. And I do remember now from first show that you were very passionate about educating families about, the trepidations of money and the canyons and abysses that we all face. Did you ever tell us what you charge or how you charge for your services?
yes, we did cover that. We talked about how I just asked for referrals for what I do.
Okay. All right. So that's more than gracious, I'll tell you. Uh, yeah, does that help you get on your way? I mean, you're being successful, so it must be helping, right?
It does. I believe that when you're dealing with people's money, there has to be a trust there. So when you get referrals from other people that you've already helped, those other people that they refer to you are going to be more likely to want to do business with you, especially if you did very right by the client that referred them to you. I
Right.
believe that looking at everybody's situation and the ins and outs of what's going on with them is very important, and building a very true honest relationship with them because you are dealing with their money, their
Yeah.
finances, and if you do
Yeah.
not have that trust,
Yeah.
then you're not going to get anywhere doing anything with them.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not about just helping um a mate. What do I want to say? It's not
Family,
about
a couple
it's
or a
it
family.
it
Yeah.
exactly. And when I have a client, they become a part of, my family. I get to know them. I want to know more about them as a person, as about their family, their kids, their
Okay.
parents, that kind of thing. I want to genuinely get to know the person and help them get to their goals that they have, whatever that may be, even if it's just getting out of debt, that's super important. Unfortunately, right now in the economy that we're in, a lot of
Yeah.
people are in debt and they're in this hamster wheel of, revolving credit card debt, personal loan debt, house debt, car debt, which those are
Yeah.
not all bad things. Having a new vehicle or a vehicle new to you is important because you need stable vehicle to
Yeah,
get you
way
around.
to get back and forth to work, get the kids
Hmm.
to the soccer game, and so I want to ask a little more about this because I usually see things from a perspective of the viewer. And if I were the viewer, I'd say, well, how can you make it only on referral? The person you're working with might buy a product from one of your I want to say sponsors, but that's not the right word. One of the insurance companies or investment companies that you work with, right? And you would
Yes,
get a
and
percentage of that, hopefully.
I do. They actually have, so all financial institutions, whether it be companies that do like annuities or companies that do life insurance, they all have what is called a marketing budget. And that's actually how my company gets paid, how we get paid as agents. We get paid out of the marketing budget of the companies that our clients choose to work with. And that
Okay.
also gives us the liberty to be able to dive into people's, financial foundation
Life,
more
yeah.
in depth so that we are not, because we don't have, quotas that we have to hit. We don't have a certain amount of products that we have to, sell to people. It's actually getting into the nitty gritty with our clients and helping
Yeah.
them make sure that they're going to be financially okay.
So
Um,
what do you do with a client who just says, and I'm going to blow my cover here. I'm asking some questions to see whether I would be a good candidate to work with you. But what do you do with clients who say, well, I barely have enough money to eat, let alone buy in a monthly investment or buy a life insurance policy? What do you do with that situation? You just kind of help them as much as you can and walk away, or because what are
nope.
you going to do? You can't live on nothing.
Well, exactly. And so that's where we would take a look at what that individual has coming in, and then look at what their bills are and look to see if there are some things that maybe they didn't realize that there were holes within their budget, like they're
Okay.
spending more on
Something that
um
like a subscription
yeah,
or a lot
subscriptions,
of people are
or,
subscription heavy.
a good example I always remember from the gal that actually brought me into introduced me to this business. When their family sat down and did their stuff, they had her husband was buying a bunch of tacos that they didn't realize he was spending a bunch of money on tacos, eating out and
Tacos.
that kind of stuff. And they
Oh
didn't
my God.
realize like how much it was. But even for like myself and my husband, I everyone has a money blueprint, Mark, and
What do you know?
they
I
oh,
have a learning disability. I'm going to turn my fan around.
okay.
I've been having it dry the dish towel, but now I want it to help me breathe. I anyway, so blueprint. You said the word blueprint. What do you
What do I mean by that? We all have a financial blueprint like in brain or ingrained in our brain, right? So it's things that we learn as children. We normally will see our parents do certain things, that kind of stuff. And the more that people understand like their money blueprint, the better off that they're going to be. Like for me, I know that I have I have always been a spender. I I used to spend a lot of money on just clothes and things that I didn't necessarily need. Well, that was
yeah.
something that I found out as we were doing our financial needs analysis with my friend Dana. She did ours, and when we were doing our financial needs analysis, it was like, whoa, it's saying that we have like $500 left over at the end of the month. Where is that $500? I don't
Yeah, we
have $500. Um, so just understanding like your money blueprint. Like for my husband, he's more of a saver and I'm a spender. So it's
understanding and respecting each other's money blueprint and figuring out a plan to work together as a couple, you know. And a lot of people are not always having those conversations when they're getting
Yeah,
married and,
yeah.
you know, starting out on a relationship together, about how they want their lives to look, what goals they have, whether it be
Uh,
financial or
uh,
just
yeah, and I would
goals in
even say
general.
that that's rare among couples. I think couples, I mean, my perception, and I've been around more than 10 minutes. My perception is people wait till they get like 45, 47, 50, 52, and then they go, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to be retiring in 10, 15, 20 years. I better start thinking about this." That's what most people seem to do. And it's, I mean, I do the same thing. And if I'm learning, because you're not the first fintech person we've had on, and if I'd only started at age 20 or age 21, by now I'd have so much money I wouldn't know what to do with it. But it's anyway, I like what you're doing. I like the approach. I remember the passion you brought to our last show about how much you want to help families, and what should families watching this show, or grandmothers who are going to now call their daughters and say, "You better call this lady." What would you have them do, or how would you have them look at their lives enough to say, "I better call Amber just to be on the safe side"? What would you? Yeah,
So the biggest thing that we want to remember, so like myself as a parent, I want my kids to understand finances now so that they are not going to be me at 37 years old, not having accomplished all of the goals that I've had for myself. I want a house. We live in a trailer right now, and there's nothing wrong with living in a trailer, but my house is not big enough for my kids
yeah,
because of my spending habits and other debts that we've had happen. That goal has not come to fruition just yet. I'm working
right,
on that though. But if we're able to get to our kids and help our kids understand these things, they might not have to go through all the hardships that myself or even other parents out there are going through currently. If we can help them understand money and
okay, okay,
understand the
good,
importance of saving,
yeah,
and the only way to do that honestly is by modeling it ourselves and learning it ourselves. We
okay,
need, because
okay,
they will, because they watch what we do, you know.
yeah,
Even grandparents, they watch what grandkids watch what you do, kind
yeah,
of thing,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
They soak up that stuff. They're like little sponges. So the more
yeah.
that we are able to get that ingrained in them at a young age, the more it's going to help them.
Okay. Well, how do you want people to contact you? Do you want them to, what contact information you want to give out to the public?
They can contact me at my email address, which is arosebi@hotmail.com. So
And I think,
I was gonna say so arosebi@hotmail.com.
yeah, that's how we voiced it last time too. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so very much. Is there, we can go longer, but I think people watch shorter videos. So I've been tending to do that. But anything you want to leave our audience with besides folks, make sure and getting hold of Amber. It's a rose bi at
Hotmail.com.
Hotmail. Okay. Anything you want to say to the audience before we leave?
There is one very important thing that you want to keep in mind. April is Financial Literacy Month, so it is a great time to really take a look at what you're doing, what your goals are, and what you want to accomplish with what you have going on within your budget and protecting your family, so that if anything were to happen to you, that everything is going to be okay. But it's super important to understand your finances.
Okay, and I was gonna say something and I forgot because I didn't want to interrupt you. Um, boy, oh boy, something important too, but I just oh, some people in financial will give folks a free one-time session. Is that something you do or do not do?
All of my sessions with my clients are free. That's where the referral part comes in. So
Blows my mind, I
you're
swear.
good. You are good. I
I, I,
I
yeah, anyway, I won't go there. I usually tease people a lot more than I'm teasing you, and I dominate the conversation with, I won't say self-aggrandizement because that's not true. It's more like carefully designed self-deprecation. But folks, please consider getting in touch with Amber. I've had 4 or 5 financial people on. I don't remember anybody saying things were free. Now, bear in mind, at some point down the road, she's going to say, well, consider getting this investment or consider getting this insurance policy. What can I ask you another question or not?
yeah, yeah.
If I were to get one of these investments or one of these policies, what's a range of the amount it would cost per month? I know it's a
I
ridiculous question in a way, but what's a broad range?
It there's a lot of things that go into figuring out the amount that it's going to cost. It all depends on what it is. Because there's different wide variety of
Right,
different
right.
insurances, whether it be term policies or permanent
Annuities or
policies.
whatever. Yeah.
Um, but you want to also keep in mind, like, we need to look at like their age, their health, that kind of thing. I know I've just recently did an IU or an index universal life insurance policy for one of my children.
Yes.
She is 9 years old, and I
Oh,
chose to put $80 in there for her, and it's a $40,000 policy. $80 a month. She will stop having to put that $80 in when she's 65. That's how I set it up. And I am the owner of it, but that will give her a decent like cash value within it, and she can eventually take loans against it if she wants, tax free. I mean, it's not an investment vehicle, it is a life
right.
insurance vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you're looking at life insurance, it doesn't always have to be just a death benefit. There can be things that are included in different insurances, like living benefits, that if someone was to get sick, that they can use that money to help
Right.
sustain themselves, so that they're not going completely broke. And those are certain things that I like to point out to people. We even have some term policies that have those living benefits within them, like you get chronic illness
Oh,
or you get
okay.
terminal illness that you can borrow against the death benefit up to a certain percentage, just depending on the company. Each one is different, but we work with an array of different companies on our platform. So we have something that can benefit pretty much just about anybody. Um,
When I was in life insurance, we didn't. I was in life insurance before your mother was born, probably, and we didn't have that in the term was a new thing, so we didn't have that feature. But okay, so that's good news. Did you want to say something else? I know I interrupted you.
I think the only thing to keep in mind too, no one product fits everybody's situation. And that's why it's important when you are talking to somebody that you have the goals that you want in mind, and that they are actually taking a look at your budget too, to make sure that whatever product that they're going to recommend for you actually will be something that you can afford. And if that person is
Okay,
not doing that, then they are not doing their due diligence as a
right.
agent to make sure that they are recommending something that actually fits your family and
Yeah.
your needs.
Okay, so then 2 questions or however many it turns out to be. Number 1, I would like to do another show today, but only if you feel comfortable.
I'm fine with that.
And number 2, I would like to do a show, and I hope it's the one we do next, because I have a certain bunch of theories about television. So I want to do a show in which I become like a potential customer. I let you know what my situation is because it's very real. If I do that for real, my viewers go, my God, that's his real life. That's his real, you know. And then you can say, well, Mark, given that your situation, I don't think I can help you, which might really be what you say.
Okay.
Or you might say, given your situation, Mark, I'm going to buy you a Derringer with 2 bullets in it and make some suggestions about what you.
I would never do that. That would be.
Oh, you haven't. That's just the top of the iceberg. I do a lot of joking usually, and some of it's blue. All right. So,
Well, I could tell you where my husband goes with that. He says if he ever loses his mind, he never wants to be put in a nursing home. He wants to
yeah,
take a car and drive it
yeah.
off
Thelma and
somewhere
Louise.
fast.
Thelma
Yep,
and
Thelma
Louise
and
style.
Louise. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
I believe it. I know it's anyway, I've learned the hard way that with this Zoom product that we're using, we have to log out completely
mhm,
and then log back in to have it delineate that it was 2 separate shows. Otherwise, it throws it all together.
no problem.
So, having said that, I'm going to log out, go visit the potty, and we'll be back. And I'll be your customer. We'll preface it and everything. But
Okay.
all right, thank you, folks. We love you very much. Please do
Bye.
call Amber. It's let me see if I can do it right. arosebi at hotmail.
Yes.
Is that right or wrong?
No, that's right.
Good. All right, folks. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you,
Bye.
Amber. I'll see you in a few minutes, dear.
Sounds